Let me invite you into the world of one of the most vivid and memorable wedding events of the 20th century, the wedding of Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon and the future King George VI. On that day, she received not just jewelry, but a whole treasure trove of royal secrets and family heirlooms. These gifts were not merely precious stones, but living witnesses to intrigues, passions, and even shocking events hidden behind the sparkle and facades of palaces. What became of these priceless jewels? Which ones disappeared? Which still shine at official events? And why do some carry the imprint of cruel and frightening stories that the royal family tried to hide forever? Stay with us. Ahead are the most exciting and unexpected details that you won't find in history textbooks. So let's start with the most important, those jewels that became symbols of a new era for Lady Elizabeth and her family. The gifts she was showered with on her wedding day were not just beautiful things. Each held a story, reflected traditions, and sometimes hid secrets that few dared to speak aloud. Some jewels passed through the years, changing shapes and owners, while others suddenly disappeared from the public eye, giving rise to many rumors and mysteries. But it is these wedding gifts that reveal to us the true picture, not only luxury and sparkle, but also hidden drama intertwined with the fates of Britain's most influential people. Let's dive into this world and find out where it all began. Which gifts became true legends and which turned into lost treasures of the royal family. One of the first and most touching gifts Lady Elizabeth received at her wedding was from her father, the Earl of Strathmore. It was a delicate tiara adorned with sparkling diamonds shaped like gentle roses, the Strathmore Rose Tiara. This tiara was not just a decoration, but a symbol of family love and support that accompanied her in the early years of her royal life. Interestingly, this tiara could be worn in two ways, traditionally as a classic crown, and in the more fashionable bandeau style of the 1920s, low on the forehead, emphasizing the modern and elegant image of the young Duchess. The new Duchess of York, in particular, wore the Strathmore Rose tiara in a series of portraits in the early to mid-1920s, paired with the Tech flower brooch and Cartier bracelets widely circulated during her husband's accession to the throne in 1936. But despite its beauty and special significance, over time, the tiara receded into the background, yielding to more grand and official jewels. It disappeared from public attention for many years until it returned to the spotlight at a recent state banquet, once again sparkling on the head of Catherine, Princess of Wales. Moving on, the next important gift to the Queen Mother came from her mother, the Countess of Strathmore. It was an exquisite pearl and diamond sautoir, a long necklace with an elegant pearl tassel that gave the jewelry lightness and sophistication. At that time, such sautoirs were at the peak of fashion, worn both day and night, emphasizing the refined taste and status of the wearer. Although there are few photos of the young Duchess of York wearing this sautoir, it is known that she used it at important events in the early 1920s. In addition to the necklace, the Countess also gifted her daughter a matching bracelet, also adorned with pearls and diamonds. This bracelet even appeared in one of the official portraits of the Queen Mother, which speaks to its significance in her collection. However, the fate of these jewels is shrouded in mystery. After many years, they almost disappeared from the public eye. Perhaps these delicate accessories are kept somewhere deep within the royal vaults, waiting for their moment to shine again on the social stage. But let's look at the gifts from Elizabeth's husband. The first and most famous among them was a pearl and diamond necklace, which, just 6 months after the wedding, was transformed into the legendary lotus flower tiara, a tiara with lotus motifs decorated with elegant diamond arches and pearls. This piece perfectly captured the spirit of the 1920s, light, airy, and modern. The tiara became one of the most notable images of the Duchess in a series of portraits from the 1920s that were widely circulated during her husband's ascension to the throne in 1936. In 1959, the then Queen Mother gave the lotus flower tiara as a wedding gift to her younger daughter, Princess Margaret, whose wedding was to take place the following year. Although not as famous as her Poltimore tiara, she wore it quite regularly until the end of her life. This tiara became a true royal classic, worn by 3 generations: the Queen Mother, her daughter, Princess Margaret, then Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, and most recently, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh. This jewel is a symbol of love and continuity, a connecting link between generations of the British royal family. Its history is full of warmth and tenderness, but also many mysteries. Another famous piece was the Teck flower brooch, a brooch with a diamond flower and teardrop pendants, which King George VI received from his mother, Queen Mary, and passed to Elizabeth as a family heirloom. Its origin is shrouded in mystery, and it is believed the brooch may have even belonged to the king's great-grandmother. This brooch became one of Elizabeth's favorites, and although she did not wear it often in public, its significance was huge. It linked not only generations, but also deep family traditions. The Teck flower brooch was inherited by the then Queen Elizabeth II, but did not become her favorite, possibly due to its complex pendants. The Queen wore it for a series of portraits made by her former son-in-law, the late Earl of Snowdon, in 2010, and it was then featured on the cover of a magazine dedicated to her Diamond Jubilee in 2012. The most exquisite gift to Elizabeth was the stunning turquoise parure. This parure, decorated with diamonds and large Persian turquoises, included a tiara, necklace, brooch, and earrings, all purchased by Queen Mary from Garrett. Turquoise was then considered a symbol of happiness, protection, and well-being, and such a gift was not only a luxury, but also a powerful talisman for the young Duchess of York. The tiara's distinctive feature was its kokoshnik shape, a style popular in the early 20th century, with an elegant alternation of turquoise stones and diamonds, creating a refined and unique silhouette. The Duchess of York often wore the turquoise carure in the 1920s and 1930s as her most significant jewelry, not only as a full set, but also using individual elements, although the jewels from the parure were not worn publicly after her husband's accession to the throne in 1937. In 1951, Queen Mother Elizabeth gave her turquoise parure to her younger daughter, Princess Margaret, on her 21st birthday, and the following year she wore these jewels at one of her first events after her father's death and in some official portraits. The turquoise parure remained one of Princess Margaret's most prized possessions and was worn by her after marriage and in subsequent decades, although not as beloved as her Poltimore tiara. The parure was not sold at the famous auction after her death and is reportedly held by her son and daughter-in-law, the Earl and Countess of Snowdon. Queen Mary also gifted the Duchess of York a stunning sapphire and diamond jewelry set, including a necklace which was probably first converted into a sautoir and then into the Queen Mother's sapphire earrings. The Art Deco-style earrings were decorated with large sapphires framed by diamonds, with a diamond tassel hanging below. The Queen Mother began wearing these earrings around the 1960s during her widowhood. The earrings were worn quite rarely until the 1990s, often combined with a Russian sapphire cluster brooch. After the Queen Mother's death, the sapphire tassel earrings were inherited by the Queen, but remained unworn until Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, appeared at the 100 Women in Hedge Funds Gala at the Victoria and Albert Museum in 2015, wearing them. Another gift from Queen Mary was the diamond Rose of York brooch. This elegant accessory was not just an ornament on the Duchess of York's outfits, it was a deep symbol of continuity and belonging to the ancient House of York, one of the key branches of the British royal dynasty. The white rose depicted on the brooch has long been considered an emblem of peace and unity, as well as a symbol of rebirth and new beginnings. The gift emphasized Elizabeth's status as Duchess of York and her connection to the royal family. Despite its significance, Elizabeth wore this brooch quite rarely, and it seldom appeared in public. Nevertheless, after the Queen Mother's death, the brooch passed to Queen Elizabeth II, who used it to fasten her order sash during official visits. In recent years, the brooch re-emerged when it was worn by Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, underscoring the continuation of traditions and the importance of the Rose of York symbol in the modern monarchy. This brooch is a living testimony of history, passed down from generation to generation, reminding us of the roots upon which the strength and greatness of the British crown are built. We must not forget the Queen Mother's sapphire brooch. Queen Mary gifted her new daughter-in-law a set of sapphire and diamond jewelry consisting of a fringed necklace, a large sapphire corsage brooch, two smaller brooches, a bracelet, and a ring. While the necklace was never publicly worn and probably became the sapphire tassel earrings, the sapphire corsage brooch remained a favorite throughout her life. Although the sapphire brooch did not match the 1920 style, by the 1930s, the then Duchess of York began wearing it at evening events. Although not often worn after the Duke's accession to the throne in 1936 and during World War II, the sapphire brooch reappeared in the late 1940s and was worn to several daytime events as well as for a notable series of portraits of the king made by Dorothy Wilding in 1951. The sapphire brooch continued to be a favorite after the king's death in 1952. The Queen Mother continued wearing her sapphire corsage brooch until the last decades of her life. After her death in 2002, the sapphire brooch, like all her other jewels, was inherited by her daughter, the Queen, although it was never publicly worn or passed on to other members of the royal family. One of the exquisite wedding gifts to Lady Elizabeth was a necklace of small pearls, decorated with amethysts and finished with a large heart-shaped amethyst clasp. This gift was presented by Queen Alexandra, grandmother of the future king, who was known for her special love of amethysts, stones symbolizing peace, protection, and spiritual balance. The long sautoir necklace with delicate pearl strands and sparkling amethysts combined with diamonds reflected the elegance and refinement of early 20th century style, when such jewelry was a fashionable accessory for both daytime and evening wear. Interestingly, Elizabeth wore this necklace during periods of mourning, for example, after Queen Alexandra's death in 1925. However, almost a century later, the necklace reappeared in the spotlight. In 2012, it was worn by Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, at the premiere of the film 007 Skyfall, symbolizing continuity and preservation of traditions. This amethyst sautoir is an example of how royal jewels not only adorn, but also carry deep meaning, linking generations and the history of the British monarchy. One of the significant and elegant pieces in the Queen Mother's collection was a diamond and sapphire brooch gifted to her by Princess Maud, daughter of King Edward VII and closely connected with Princess Anne. This brooch became a symbol of family ties and traditions passed down through generations. The brooch featured a refined design. Large sapphires, surrounded by sparkling diamonds, created the effect of a luxurious yet restrained accessory that could easily complement both formal and casual looks. For the Queen Mother, this piece held special meaning. It reminded her of familial bonds and strengthened her position within the monarchy, serving as a sign of respect and affection. Despite its beauty and status, the brooch was quite versatile and appeared at various important moments in the royal family's life, remaining one of her favorite jewels. One of the most impressive wedding gifts presented to Lady Elizabeth by the residents and authorities of London was a magnificent pearl and diamond sautoir. This was a necklace of exceptional beauty and delicacy, consisting of 5 rows of small pearls strung on the finest platinum threads, which gave the jewelry incredible lightness and elegance. The central ornament of the sautoir was a large pearl suspended on a triangular diamond base, a true symbol of nobility and grandeur of the capital, now adorning the neck of the young Duchess of York.
This gift symbolized not only high status and respect for the future queen, but also a special bond between the monarchy and the people. In the early years after the wedding, Lady Elizabeth often appeared at public events, displaying this elegant accessory that emphasized her elegance and dignity. Over time, the pearl sautoir disappeared from public view, and its further fate remains one of the mysteries of the royal collection. Perhaps it is still kept deep within the royal vaults, waiting to return to social occasions and the attention of history enthusiasts. One of the delicate and exquisite wedding gifts to Lady Elizabeth was a diamond bow-shaped brooch given to her by Mrs. Arthur James, a close friend and godmother of the future queen. This accessory was distinguished by its refined design. Delicate craftsmanship and the sparkle of diamonds created an impression of lightness and elegance. The brooch was not just a decoration, it symbolized warm relationships and trust between Elizabeth and her close circle. Subsequently, this piece became one of the Queen Mother's favorite and most frequently used accessories in her looks. Interestingly, the Queen often wore this brooch at memorial and remembrance ceremonies, fastening poppy stems as a mark of respect for the fallen, a symbol that over time gained special significance within the royal family. After the Queen Mother's death, the brooch passed to Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, who continued the tradition of using this touching and meaningful accessory at official events. One of the elegant and significant wedding gifts received by Lady Elizabeth was a ring with a large ruby surrounded by sparkling diamonds. This luxurious accessory was given to her by Cora, Countess of Strafford, an influential aristocrat and close acquaintance of the young Duchess. The ruby, symbolizing passion and protection, combined with diamonds representing eternity and purity, created a unique piece that emphasized not only status, but also the character of its owner. The ring not only complemented Elizabeth's wedding look, but also became an important heirloom, linking her to the elite world of British nobility and highlighting deep family ties. Although this piece did not frequently appear at public events, it held a special place in the Queen Mother's personal collection and likely retained its significance throughout her life. After the grand necklaces and sparkling tiaras, it's time to turn attention to more intimate but no less luxurious gifts, those that a royal lady wears closest to herself. One such piece was a flexible diamond bracelet given by Lord Revelstoke, an influential banker and prominent figure of London high society.
This bracelet combined impeccable craftsmanship and elegant design. Thin lines of diamonds created a play of light that fascinated with every movement of the hand. Its flexible form allowed it to perfectly hug the wrist, becoming both a status symbol and a personal piece full of meaning. Lord Revelstoke's gift emphasized the importance of the young Duchess within the royal family and testified to the trust and respect she earned in the highest circles. Although the bracelet rarely caught the camera's eye, it remained one of those jewels that the Queen Mother kept with special tenderness and pride. Beyond the grand and well-known jewels, Lady Elizabeth also received more unique gifts adorned with precious stones, each carrying its own story and significance. For example, a tie pin decorated with diamonds and rubies was given to her by the elderly Lady Liking, the wife of the royal physician Sir Francis Liking. Curiously, some historians suggest that the late Sir Guy Liking, Lady Liking's husband, might have been the biological father of King Olav V of Norway, adding a shade of mystery and intrigue to this gift. Also, in the collection were a brooch in the shape of an elegant diamond bird given by the Countess of Moray, and a tie pin with onyx and diamonds presented by the Earl and Countess of Lisbourne. These delicate pieces, though less visible at official events, still underscored the status and refined taste of the young Duchess, as well as her close ties to aristocratic society. Each of these pieces is a small story in the grand mosaic of royal gifts, reminding us of the people and moments that shaped the life of the Queen Mother. These extraordinary jewels are far more than mere ornaments. They are silent witnesses to a century of royal history, love, and legacy. Each piece tells a story of tradition and transformation, of moments both public and private, joyful and somber. As these treasures passed from one generation to the next, they not only adorned the women who wore them, but also carried the weight of their hopes, struggles, and triumphs. Today, while some of these magnificent gifts continue to grace the most prestigious events, others remain hidden away, their whereabouts cloaked in mystery, inviting curiosity and speculation. They remind us that behind the dazzling facade of royalty lies a rich tapestry of human experience, a blend of beauty, power, secrecy, and enduring heritage. As we reflect on these precious heirlooms, we are invited to appreciate not just their craftsmanship, but the profound stories they embody. In the end, these jewels are not just the legacy of a queen or a family. They are the shimmering threads that connect the past, present, and future of the British monarchy. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time and treasure. Until next time, may the sparkle of history continue to inspire and captivate.